Recently, we see the cryptocurrency start bouncing again. In this video, we're going to take a look at Ethereum to see the recent bounce, what are the potential for the upside, and what are the possibilities for the downside in the near term. Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum. Here, what I got is a profile here, a composite profile on this range here. And you can see this is the most accepted price right now at this level here. I did not mark it off, and it is somewhere around 2900. Then I also have another composite profile coming down to this level here. Essentially this swing from a high to a pivot high to a pivot low. And right now, on the way down, the most accepted price is up here at 4,079 and a quarter. Now, in addition to that, I also mark off some of these high volume nodes. And those high volume nodes represent the potential accepted price. In other words, there's a lot of trading in those high volume nodes. So there's considered to be a fair value between the buyer and the seller. And that's why we see a lot of volume get transacted. A lot of trade going to at that price level. So it generates a lot of volume there. And these are the low volume zone. And these are the price level that there are very little trading going on because the buyer or the seller found that the price at those levels are unfair to them. So they would not either want to buy for the buyer or want to sell for the seller if the seller consider that price is too low or unfair to them. Likewise for the buyer, if the buyer consider those prices too high and they do not want to buy. So usually we see price get rejected from those zones. They won't hang around and do too much of a trading unless there's a new set of buyer or seller coming in, at those price level. Then you start seeing more volume start building up, and these low volume areas start becoming a little bit of a high volume area. So let's go to the analysis here on this swing. And as you can see on its way down, it established this level, 4,079.25 as the most accepted price at this area here. So when price came down here, there are a lot of buyer and seller willing to conduct business at this level. And when the buyer, diminished, then any seller up here that remain to sell the Ethereum has to lower the price to find buyers. So the next level that they found buyers is here, and now they start conducting a lot of business here at this level at $3,809.50. Then once again, once the buyer is exhausted, then the price have to go lower to find willing buyer. So as it come down, you can see that even at these low volume area, it did not do too much, did not conduct too much business. It just went right to, and then it found some buyers here, right, at this high volume node. So you can see that there's a little bit of a high volume zone here. So there's a little bit of a business being conducted at that at those levels there. And then it came up here at this high volume node. And when it come back up here, it found a lot of seller willing to sell to those willing buyers here. So that's why you see a little bit of a consolidation here. And you see a lot of trading occur at this range here, at this level, 3373.41. And once again, when the buyers are exhausted, and we still got a lot of sellers that want to sell, and in order for them to find willing buyer, they have to lower the price. And as you can see, the next time it came down here, did not spend too much time here, right? And it just came right down and continued to go down until it found some willing buyers here. Then start to chop around here, and once again got a nice flush. Then all of a sudden, the seller say, nope, no way I'm gonna sell down here. So any new buyer coming in now, essentially have to increase the bidding price to find seller now, right? And that's why we see the price start coming back up. So where are the potential level where we find potential seller, right? And so now we're going to go back to those high volume nodes that are on the way down. And because we know those levels, there were a lot of seller and buyers, seller and buyers found those prices to be attractive or acceptable or to be fair. So that's where the liquidity or potential liquidity lies. So you can see that the price came down and stopped bouncing up and came down and got rejected at this low volume zone. Right now, we still got a lot of buyers that's pushing the price up. And here it came up to close to this high volume node and essentially got up to this low volume zone here, got up to this low volume zone, and then it got rejected because here the buyer say no, it's too high for me to buy. No buyer willing to pay this price, then any seller coming in has to lower the price to find buyers. So once again, price came down, continue to come down, and here's this high volume node here. See that this time around it came down, not too much interest at this level now, but there seems to be a little bit interest here at this low volume zone. So we're going to see, will the price get rejected back up? So in other words, are there still seller that willing to sell, or is there a lack of seller to sell at this price? So then any buyer that comes in has to basically bid up the price to find seller up here at this area to sell. Okay, so they could buy from those sellers. So if the price come up, let's say get back above close to that 3,000 level, then we basically look for a bounce up to this 3121 to see where we find more seller and lack of buyer. And we know it got rejected up here last time. So again, we're going to see if it could go to this 3121 or get rejected again at this level here. Now, on the downside here, there's just no buyer and seller just still looking for buyer. And they basically have to come down here to, see could they find buyers. And there might be some buyers willing to buy here because there are some little bit of high volume area here. So we'll see would it get a bounce back up, stabilize here and start building some volume, and then maybe it could push back up to this low volume zone. So those are the area to keep an eye on for the downside, or if there are no buyers at all, then once again, we're going to check this low volume zone here to see will there be buyer, that come in and push the price back up to this area here, to this low volume zone that we know there weren't much of a buyers here, and that's why the price came down. So for the near term, I'd be watching this level here, this 3,000 level. If it could get above 3,000 level, then I'd be watching this price here. All right, let me put those level on. Okay, so those are the blue level that I'm targeting coming back up. Okay, so that would be 3283.49 level here. So we'll see, would it be able to get above this level here, 2977.78. So essentially, $3,000 or something like that. So if you could get above 3,000, then look for 3280 area, 3283. But in the meantime, between before we get to 3380, look at this 3121, this level here, because the price could come up, get above here, and then find sellers. And then they're just going to chop around here. And depending is the exhaustion or no more buyer or no more seller. If there's no more seller, then we can see price come up to this 3283. But if there are no more buyer, then we can see it come back down to this 2977 or 3000 level. So that's the potential upside scenario that we're watching. Now, then on the downside, let me put some of these prices here, and we basically are looking at level here and also this level. So let's take a look at on the downside. Now, if the price, let's say there are no buyers here, and the seller has to lower the price to find buyers. And we could see it migrate down here. And there could be, remember I said there could be some buyers here that might push the price back up to the zone. So once we get back to the zone, then we're basically looking at that upside scenario that I just described earlier. So right now we're essentially looking to see would it come down here and would it find buyers this time and then pushes back up. Okay, if it pushes back up, then we're basically looking at this 2878 area or this level here. Basically back in this zone here, 2900 to 2977 or 2980, back in this zone. So if it come down to this 26 area, this zone here, and it pushes back up, and we essentially targeting this area here. But on the downside, once it breaks, we want to see, will this downside move break below this zone. Then if we break below this zone, then we basically targeting the downside at 24.29 or the 24.30 here, this area here, this high volume node. So those are the downside scenario. So good luck, and be sure to smash the thumbs up to give it a like. Thank you for watching and stay safe.